Greetings, salutations, respect, and love. I am Scott, and you are in the Prog Corner. I hope you guys are having a great day. I'm fixing to make it just a little bit better as we explore the Big Six of Modern Prog. Yeah, I did the Big Six episode a few months ago. I'm gonna, put it at the end of the video. So if you guys want to watch that, go back and check it. But right now, I want you to watch this video. So I'm not going to put a card up on the screen. We're just going to talk about it. But what are the criteria for the Big Six? Well, this is a lot more difficult than the classic Big Six, which of course were, yes, Genesis, ELP, King Crimson, Jethro Tull, and Pink Floyd. It's a lot more convoluted, man. There's so many bands out there and none of them are making huge money. So it's not like an obvious, well, Pink Floyd just sold 50 million copies. They're in the Big Six. We don't have anything even approaching that. So it is a little bit more convoluted. So here's the criteria that we are using today. This is obviously just my opinion. And it's not even really my opinion. I'm not going to be doing my 6 favorite modern prog bands. These are the ones that fit these criteria. Number 1 is longevity. How long have these guys been around? A band with 1 or 2 albums is not going to be on this list. And then we've got something called the Progometer that Andy Edwards over on his channel's come up with. If you guys haven't been watching him, it's fantastic. The former IQ drummer, just really, really cool channel. Commercial success, popularity, in the age of, modern prog, it's really a relative thing. But if we were just going solely based on commercial success, we would have 6 prog metal bands, right? So we're not going to do that. It's going to be part of the equation. Critical accolades, definitely part of it too. What, prog critics around the world have been saying. Overall influence of the bands in question. And subjective greatness, which of course is, the hardest thing to gauge. But we're going to do it anyway. And we're not going to include any of the second wave bands. The original neo-prog bands, none of them are going to be on here because I consider that second wave. We're talking about third wave here, so no Marillion, no IQ, no Palace, no Pendragon, no 12th Night, no Jadis, none of that stuff. Here are some of the ones that did not make the list. That's how stiff this competition is. Wobbler, they've only got 5 albums out there not in. The Tangent, real close, man. Haken, they almost got in, but again, not enough material. Riverside, the Mars Volta, Coheed and Cambria, the Deer Hunter, all that modern stuff. Transatlantic almost made the list, but being that they just broke up more or less, I did not include them. Frost, Leprous, Gazpacho, Between the Buried and Me, Periphery, Pineapple Thief, Arion, Pain of Salvation, Kappa. None of those bands made the list. That's how tough this competition is here. So the Big Six of modern prog, I'm cheating a little bit here. I'm doing 3 bands and 3 artists. And if you think about it, you know why I'm doing individual artists. It just makes sense. We're going to start with Roine Stolt. And obviously, we're going to pick him in the Big Six because you've got the Flower Kings. That's the big nameplate here. But you also have to look at Transatlantic, the first 2 albums by The Tangent. He was on 6 Kaipa albums, The Sea Within. Yeah, so he's been in a whole bunch of stuff beyond just the Flower Kings, but the Flower Kings are the main reason he is here. They were formed in 1994. They've got 15 albums out, and they are the cornerstone, one of the seminal bands of modern prog, absolutely. So Roine Stolt and the Flower Kings on the Big Six. Next up, how about Neal Morse and Spock's Beard? And again, you got Transatlantic, you got the Neal Morse Band, you've got Flying Colors, you got all of Neal's solo stuff. Spock's Beard was formed in 1992. They've got 13 albums out, but Neal's got a whole bunch of solo albums out. He's got a whole bunch of albums with the Neal Morse Band. And of course, you got Transatlantic, Flying Colors, all that stuff. So Neal Morse / Spock's Beard in the Big Six of modern prog. Here's another one I just thought about that didn't make the list. I tried to write down people that I didn't include. Echolin. real close to making the list, but they did not. Here's the third individual artist making the list, and it's Steven Wilson, and obviously Porcupine Tree, Bass Communion, No Man, Blackfield, Storm Corrosion, but obviously Porcupine Tree in a solo material is the primary reason he is here. Porcupine Tree was formed in 1987. They've got 11 albums out, including the great one that just came out this past year, and Steven Wilson's solo career is just an abundance of greatness. Hand Cannot Erase. Oh man, The Raven That Refused to Sing, just so great. Porcupine Tree, Steven Wilson, very likely the leading light of modern prog. Certainly one of the biggest names and the one having the most commercial success. Absolutely deserves to be in the big six of modern prog. Now we're getting into the individual band section of my big six. Those first three were definitely cheats, but that's how it is with modern prog. People playing with a whole bunch of other people and side projects and this and that and the other thing. It was bound to happen. You know, you had a little bit of that crossover in the classic Big Six with Greg Lake being both in ELP and King Crimson, Bill Bruford being in both Yes and King Crimson. So yeah, cheating is fine, right? Okay, number 4 on my list of the big six of modern prog, it's Big Train. Yeah, David Longdon left us, but Greg Sponton has been so generous to his fans, making sure that Big Train doesn't die, that they keep going. They got a brand new singer they brought in from PFM. The first single sounded really great. I'm excited about the future of Big Train. They were formed in 1990. They've got 14 albums out. All of them are really good. I am so excited to see what Big Train can bring to the future without the great Dave Longdon. It's going to be a challenge, but if anybody can do it, I know it's those guys and girls. They got 2 females in the band now, so got to be careful with that. And next up in the big six of modern prog, it's Dream Theater, formed in 1985 at the Berklee School of Music by John Myung, Mike Portnoy, and John Petrucci. After their first album, well, they were first called Majesty, then they changed the name to Dream Theater, and then they got rid of their old singer, and they got James LaBrie in. And then they changed keyboard players a couple times, and then they changed their drummer. You know the story. But Dream Theater, one of the greatest bands of all time. Certainly one of the most popular bands within the prog umbrella. Yeah, they're prog metal. You know, I'm not putting Fate's Warning in here or Queensryche, so I had to do something a little heavier. And I'm going to continue that with my number 6 pick of the big six of the modern era. And it's Opeth, formed in 1990. These guys have 13 albums out. Some of them are kind of, death metal-y with the death growls, the Cookie Monster stuff going on. But in 2003, they dropped an album called Damnation. And then ever since 2011's Heritage, the last 4 albums have all had the clean vocals, none of the Cookie Monster stuff going on. Michael Ackerfeld is letting his Jethro Tull and Genesis influences start to really take over the music. People love, Still Alive in Blackwater Park and Ghost Reveries and stuff. But give me Pale Communion, give me Sorceress any day of the week. Opeth, definitely one of the biggest names in prog, and they deserve to be on the list. So that is my wrap up of the big six of modern prog. And I am cheating a little bit there, sure. I mean, you've got Nick DiVirgilio taking 2 bites at the apple there with Big Train and the Spock's beard connection, so there's going to be a little bit of that. Mike Portnoy also is represented twice with Dream Theater and the Neal Morse grouping, Neal Morse Band, Transatlantic, etc. But so those are the biggest acts in prog today. I left a whole bunch off, and I am super curious to hear what you guys think if you had to put together the big six of modern prog rock. Who would it be in your estimation? Yeah, I've been working on this for like 6 months trying to figure out who the big six of modern prog is. I think I nailed it, but you guys let me know. Anyway, a shout out to the great Alume Eltonen for this fantastic Jean-Michel Jarre shirt. Look at this thing. Oh, it's awesome. It's got that, nylon polyester thing. It's, it's really cool and shiny and, slippery. I love it. So thank you so much. I can honestly say that that was the very first gift I've ever received in the 13 months I've been doing the Prog Corner. So thank you so much, Pam. I appreciate it. Really, really great. Fits great. I love it. I've been wanting to try a shirt like this for a while. So thank you so much, Pam. You are awesome. Anyway, look at the end screen here. I'm going to put up the big six of classic prog so you can watch that if you haven't already. Anyway, I am Scott. You are in the Prog Corner. I love you guys. Have a great day, and God save the king. And Sarah Ferguson, too. Why not?